Welcome back to Everybody Loves Juju. 1, 2 Talks Hoops. How y'all doing? Saturday night, Saturday evening, Saturday night, somewhere out there on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. It is almost 6 o'clock. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? If this is your first time here, we just talk hoops. We chat about games that are on, games that have already been played. I'm a USC Trojan fan, so I will talk, you know, hoops in that manner and discuss our team and discuss their games coming up, their games that they played, talking for anything new going on um, with the players, and of course, everybody wants to know what's up with Juju. I'm your host, Juju. That is my nickname. It's been my nickname since I was a child. First name is Julie, if you really want to know. Um, what's up, DC? Hey, thank you, Kayla. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing, everybody? How you doing? Come on in. How's your Saturday? What you been up to today? Anything exciting? There's no rain in Los Angeles today. I mean, it has rained, but it's settled down quite a bit. It's just still wet and cold out there. Anything? Y'all getting some rest? You washing some clothes? You getting your hair done? Getting a haircut? Watching football? What happened with the Trojans, Kayla? I didn't even want to look. I was watching. I'll tell you what I was watching. Baylor against Davidson. Davidson almost pulled up an historical upset for their program. A historical upset for their program. They went into what, one or two overtimes. It was great. It was great. It would have been the first time they have beat a ranked or a power five program. Yeah, they couldn't pull it off, but it was, hey, if I were them, I would take that and move forward because they were about to knock off a number seven um, ranked program. That's why the rankings are kind of like, yeah, but it's November, so it's hard to hold on to your ranking um, in the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? You could always climb back up if you're a big program. Nothing much. You just finished rewatching UConn, Michigan. What you think about that, DC? What did you think about it? That was scary. I don't know. Do you think it exposed anything, or do you think it was just Gino um, leaving his players in the game to figure it out, so to speak, or to gut it out? Because Sarah wasn't in the game, and that would have easily changed things towards the end. He went with a smaller lineup, I guess, to match Michigan, but I mean, had to have Sarah in, I don't think that they would have lost a 20-point advantage. I mean, shoot, I can't talk. We lost a 10, 11-point advantage, but 20 points, it happens. It happens. But it really happened. And, yeah, like I said, it's November. Um, Speaking of November and speaking of a tournament that can make some rankings jump up or down, and it's called the Players Era Championship. It's in Las Vegas, and it is over the weekend of Thanksgiving or the week of Thanksgiving, and it will include the first game will be Texas versus UCLA. Number three Texas, number four UCLA, I think right now. We'll square off first. Then later that afternoon will be the Gamecocks squaring off with Duke, which I was really looking forward to since Duke played so well with them last year. So, however, Duke um, isn't looking like the Duke of last year. We all know that Akana Aluchi left, but did she make that much of a difference? I don't know. I think there's something that they have to figure out right now under Kara Larson's leadership and her coaching staff. So it could be a scary time for UCLA because they could um, use this as a jumpstart or a motivator. They could have easily uh, gotten in there, tweaked some things, figured some things out offensively that could, who knows, that could quell the offense of of, of UCLA. But more than I mean, excuse me, of South Carolina, but more than likely not. So, with that being said, the following day they play for the championship, right? And that would be South Carolina, I would say, against either Texas or UCLA. What say you? Do you have Texas winning, or do you have UCLA winning, or do you even care? So let me read your comments. It made me pay attention to both teams' defenses, and Michigan really shook it up in the third quarter to hold UConn to 4. Wow, UConn had 4, but hey, when did AZ go off? Because AZ had 31 points, 31 or 32, right? Donovan, that's right. You told me that before. Sorry, Donovan. And then what kind of was she shook it up? She shook it up off the bench when offense wasn't rolling. But this dude guard play has been disappointing. Well, what is it about the guard play? Are they just real defensive minded to you, and they just don't have offense? Because that would remind me of Kara when she played at Tennessee, and that's just been my take about Kara for a long time. Like I've always felt that way. I think I remember when Andrea Carter played there, and then a young gal from out here in California, Lori Moore, out of Narbonne High School, was the point guard at the time. Um, Narbonne was they had Ebony Hoffman, who later became an All-American for USC, went on to get drafted by the Indiana Fever, and I believe she got a ring with Tamika Catchings, and went on to end her career with the Sparks right here, where in her hometown of Los Angeles. What up, Jonathan Gonzalez? Thank you for joining me. Hit that like button, y'all, before y'all forget. So, another thing I want to let you guys know is I'll be at the game in Vegas next week, so I'll get a chance to see uh, two teams that I've never seen play before. One Texas, the other Duke. And so I will be able to get a first-hand glimpse up close of, you know, who they are, what they are personally in person. It's one thing to watch games on TV, and another to see them in person. I always say like in person is better, but sometimes when I get back home, I see things from the camera angle that I didn't notice while at the game. So it's going to be exciting. I'll be at both. I'll be at the first day. Yeah, they play. Um, oh, for the championship game, you also get to see them battle for third place as well. So you actually, I believe, yeah, I believe it goes like I said. Let's say South Carolina plays Texas, then UCLA will play Duke, or Duke will play Texas. So although Don didn't schedule like a gauntlet for non-conference, I think what she did was pretty cool because, she this schedule for her early on is really going to test uh, the Gamecocks. It's a good test. She's going to see Texas a number of times when she plays in SEC, but then she gets to see play Duke, or she can get her revenge back against UCLA. That's what I would want to see. I would want to see ultimately for the championship game of the tournament. I'd like to see the Gamecocks and UCLA, because I think the Gamecocks want to get that leg back, and I ain't mad at it. So the defense wasn't even great against South Florida. Their guards got almost every drive they wanted. Wait, what game was South Florida? The one that Duke lost to, Donovan? You know what I mean? I remember in college, November was like, I mean, you're still kind of playing yourself in game shape and you're still kind of learning your teammates, learning where your teammates want the ball, trying to figure out, like, yeah, Duke versus USF. Yeah, okay. You know how it is. Y'all play ball. It's like you kind of like, November is now if you're a team like UCLA, where the core of you guys have been playing for a very long time, um, or even South Carolina, it's easy, you know, to be in, rhythm early on, more so than most teams. That's my thought. That's my thought. That's my thought on it. I'm just rapping right now. I'm looking at the score of the Iowa Miami game. Iowa's 24. Miami's at the free throw line, just hit one. I think that's 19. 24-19, close game. Second quarter, 5 minutes left. But Duke returned almost their entire starting five, except Reagan Richardson and right, Alucci. See, here's the thing. I would agree with that. I absolutely agree with you. Like, and you play out like Jaden Donovan, Toby, But if you remember, Cara Lawson was, if you don't know, she was coaching USA basketball. And see, that's the thing. Like what happened to Joni Taylor, I think her name from Texas A&M. She was out busy with the Olympics and stuff like that, and that's where your assistants come in, and that's where you have trusted assistants. Um, but those assistants haven't been with her like 10, 14 years or anything. But apparently something wasn't they wasn't taking care of business without her being there. Because, and now just imagine when next season comes and she has to start working with USA basketball. And in 2028, right? Like, is this going to be a distraction for Kara? Because they're calling for her head. People are like questioning whether that was the right. I kind of thought it was kind of premature to bring her in as a coach. That's just my opinion. Like eventually, I could see her, making a respectable uh, coach for Olympic. But I just kind of thought that was kind of like a quick trigger. Like there had to been. I think there's just others that could have been thought of. But hey, I don't know who her assistants are. I wonder who they are. So, but just I think it had to be that. It had to be that. What you say, Jonathan? Jonathan said Kennedy Smith and Jazzy will bounce back in the rest of the USC. Oh, for sure. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. I mean, I'm always going to stay positive about them because that's a sophomore, that's a freshman. Um, some freshmen, you know, they can very rarely, but they can step right in and right. She played USA basketball this summer as well, and then she had the early illness, so she didn't get to play a lot with them. So she's still getting a hang of it. But I could tell that once she's comfortable, there's so many bright spots. Like she had 8 offensive rebounds yesterday. That's huge because that's what we were asking. Before it was Kara that had the offensive rebounds. This time it was Jazzy. I saw Jazzy flaring out on defense, covering, the top, the middle, the side, the back side. Like she was everywhere. She was active on defense. Um, I saw her starting to find her threes. I think they all played well. If you look at the stats statistically, or you analyze the metrics between us and Notre Dame, we actually had better stats. We shot better, um, even with the sped up pace and the chaotic defense and the hawking defense of Notre Dame. I felt like, wow, we still shot 40%. In the field goals and as well as in the 3 point range. 3 point range. And shout out to Kennedy. I know that was a hard. There was nothing she could do. I mean, it was great defense on her for the last shot, just better offense, right? It's a lucky shot. But I think we do ask Kennedy to do a lot. Um, She's asked to fly around the way that Juju did. The only thing she does that Ju doesn't do is Ju was not asked to guard the star player, and then asked to do offense, and then asked to do defense, right? And then asked to make sure that you can score, you can hit your threes. And why did she miss her leg? Well, your legs are gone. And I've told you guys time and time again, my junior senior, I was a two guard that guarded the point guard and slid off to my position down the court as off, to the shooting guard position. And me being a track star, a track runner, like I can run for days, but being going laterally all game, being down defensively, um, keeping up with a point guard in general, picking them up like 94 feet, like I did, that get you lose your legs after a while. You know what I mean? So, um, but I wouldn't let up on her. I would continue to have her doing what she does, which she's very talented and elite at, and you'll eventually say February, March, you're gonna be in great shape. It's gonna be like second nature. You're just gonna be hooping out there, and then I can see them overly thinking about the plays. I say shout out to Coach Gottlieb. Coach Gottlieb said some of it was on her, some of it was obviously on them, but I think what we shouldn't do, well, for that game, I'm not gonna say all games, but the symmetrics, the look of London and Malia at point guard, at the top of the key, combo guarding is not a good. We did when those two combinations were in, and it has a lot to do with their height. Now you probably say, well, Hannah's 5'6", but Hannah is super fast. Kennedy did take her, and that was good. But I think when you're 6'1", I'm 5'8", so her being 5'6" would be not a problem, and her speed definitely not a problem. Not if I'm one of the top spinners in California. Like you got it, and I'm using me because I'm just picturing myself like all the time. Like how would I have guarded Hannah, or how does it feel to be Kennedy? How does it feel to be Malia? How does it feel to be Jazzy? Because I played all the wing, the two, the one, and at 6'1", it's annoying getting down low like that for a 5'6" person who was obviously faster than her. But you got to anticipate, and you got to take away angles. You got to beat them to certain spots, which Kennedy was doing, but because Hannah would zigzag back and forth when she tried to come back, when she tried to beat her back to the direction that she was going to go, there was moving screens. Some called not some, and the one moving screen really took her out. Like it even hurt her, and there was another one that really hurt Ken Dog. Like she just fell out. It was like when you hit a screen, your whole body is jarred, your head, your body, everything. Sometimes your hip, sometimes your knee hits another knee. It's just, and then what makes it worse is when officials don't call it, and that's when I'm just done. And Ken shows her emotions. She wears emotions on her sleeve. You saw at the end of the game, she shed tears, and some on social media were like, "Well, why is she crying? It's only November." And it's like, chill. Like she's a competitor. She plays with her heart on her sleeve. Like chill. Like you know what I'm saying? It's frustrating because one, the girl scored on you. Two, you go to take the ball out, and then the ball gets deflected. You're gonna feel like crap. But that's not where it ended. And then there was a chippy she missed, right? Jazzy's feeling bad because that was a game winner right there. But as a whole, as a team, with Godly and the whole team itself, I think Lindsay's play calling with no timeout, her play calling is excellent. It's excellent. It's the right thing to do, but they just have to execute it. And I know Jazzy probably like to this day, like how did I miss a point blank wide open layup. Like she probably can't even imagine like what was that, But I praise them though. Um, Playing in a hostile crowd environment, nothing but Notre Dame Irish. You got pros looking at you. Hannah is super like duper annoying. No, hype. And she doing her thing. She's one of the best in the country. You know, it happened. And now that's two in a row. That I'm just, you know, I'm not happy about for them. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna make for a CTV come next year and the following years. Hannah has one more year after this year, and I don't know if we'll get the chance, like per schedule, have them on schedule, but like maybe down the line this year or next year, we'll meet up with them in March in March Madness, because I feel like Godly has not let us down with taking teams with lesser talent to the tournament, and I just feel like she'll do it again, and she'll continue to do it. I don't think there's no turning back from that. So 32-26, close game. I think they may probably have like midterms. Like when do they have? They have midterms, and they're gonna have Thanksgiving break, and then they're gonna go into December, then the finals, right? So one thing you guys always have to remember is like these athletes are student athletes, and I can attest being a dual sport student athlete. Um, is they're not just straight playing ball. Like, you know what I mean? They are still student athletes, and they're still adjusting to traveling and and staying on top of their studies, keeping up with their rest, um, keeping up with going to class, study hall if that's what's happening. If they got study hall, I'm sure they do. All of those things like um, add up. Just add up. Oh, hey, what's happening, Cece? Oh, you know what, Cece? Why don't you come up here? I don't have a big crowd today, but it will be laid out, and people usually come back and watch. But I'd love to have you up here if you have time and give your take on where US how about the game and the next few games that we have coming up before we play UConn. If you like to, there's the link. You can't do it from your phone though. You have to use the link from your desktop. But I would love you guys to meet Cece Clay of Let's Talk USC Women's Basketball. She also does USC Trojan. She has a Substack. She can tell you all about it. She goes to all the games. She knows all the players. She's in the media room with the players. She sees the players practice, knows them firsthand. Um, I would love for you to like. I would love for you to join me, Cece, when you can, because you're not home right now. Oh yeah, because I don't think you could be able to do it from the phone, but you could try it from StreamYard on your phone. I don't know. Some people are able to do it, some people aren't. But if you are, you know, you're welcome to come anytime. But I'd love to have you come because I really want to give you to give your insight about the team and you know do your thing that you do with your show, and especially if I set it up and I can get my people here, I would love to have you join. And also, you guys follow her on Let's Talk USC Basketball. She does a great analytics. She does straight talk. She does breakdowns, recaps, pre games about future games with the team, and really she really gives a lot of insight. Um, oh yeah, go check her video out. She gave really good insight on video today about a lot of things that about our team and how they look. And I checked it out too already, CC. I checked it out. I love what you said, and you hit it on the nail about the combinations and the rotation and certain players that play together. It takes nothing away from the players. It's just that different lineup flows. Yeah, that was great. I love that because I was thinking the same thing. But I would sometimes you got to hear it like to confirm it with an expert or someone who's coached before. Like, and I love that. Uh, I love that you said what you said because it was obvious, but it was like, how come? Like maybe giving how you gave your analysis of like, well, how come this didn't work? And then I was thinking like, with Notre Dame, I was like, I was not. I pretty much thought if we could contain Hannah, which we did the majority of the game, she just had a lot of runouts, and that's what I wanted to talk to CC about. I wanted to talk to you about like we did the I call it the 1-4 low, right? 4 low, and then left Malia at the top with Hannah, and she got the pick six, right? And I was like, how come we can't start the offense from the side? Because to leave Malia out with no screen or protection, and Hannah was like, she was determined to get the ball. You know what I mean? Either they gotta move quicker so that she can start the offense, but she definitely can't turn her back on her. That's what I would say to Malia. You cannot spin on. You better do like Kennedy was doing to her, and I mean, excuse me, Raven was doing to Kennedy and Malia, which was constantly, and they didn't call that at South Carolina. Raven was constantly knocking their hand away, constantly keeping them away like that, just moving them. And I was like, when can you do that? You know? And on that still, this is my personal opinion. If you look closely on that still that Hannah did with Malia, Malia got caught up, but Hannah grabbed Malia's left arm where she couldn't grab the ball, and that's what made her fall. She did it real slick, she was going that way, but she reached around her and she grabbed her arm, and that's what tripped Malia up. Because I think she would have gotten the weight out of that spin. Yeah, that was crazy. We need a bigger lineup. Dazzy, Kara, Kennedy, Diana, Viv, or Gerda. Yeah, yeah, on that, and definitely, definitely. And I can't remember what you said. Jazzy, Kara. Oh my God, Kara Dunn. Oh, she was amazing. Kara Dunn, and at the end of close games, we tried Ken Dog. We've given her a couple shots, right? We've given Jazzy good, again, the chance for the winning bucket. But as you know, like old school, whoever is hot, when you want to get that winning bucket, if for me, it was Kara Dunn. It was Kara, and Kara had the hot hand. Kara was, I don't know. She was the Georgia Tech player that I remember in the ACC. Yeah, Hannah moves so fast and she's slick with it. She's very slick with it. I'm not gonna lie, she's very slick with it because um, I got phone calls later like Hannah is fouling. She's hacking her. She's hacking. Now I agree with the new rule because I like playing basketball like that. I never liked the arm bar. That changed during my basketball career in the middle of my uh, 80s. And so I like hot touch. I like hot touch. Um, but she ain't hot touching. She's hacking. And she's doing it real slick. Real slick. And she's fast when she's doing it. And so, you know, yeah, you're playing at Notre Dame, you're playing at home. You ain't getting the calls. I don't want to make excuses. Um, it appears to me that it really hurt them. It really hurt but that's what they probably need. They need not their egos bruised, but they need to play with pride, and they need to know that when you wear that Trojan uniform, and it's so crazy because when they celebrated, they acted like they won a title or something. I was like, okay, was this a tournament? Did I miss something? Like, you know, what? Why? Oh, the only thing I could think of is like they got beat so bad against Michigan that whatever, maybe how you get hyped up because it's like, okay, I think we figured it out. That's the way I would think that they were excited, but I would have saved that for the locker room. But the way that they were celebrating, it felt a little personal. You know what I mean? It felt a little personal, and it felt and it's starting to be like, wow, you guys really like what you know. Everybody really want to come and come for the Trojans, and it's like they have to realize that you have a target on your back, and they want to take advantage of you when your lioness is down, Juju. But Juju, she's taking mental notes. Oh yeah, she's taking notes. She's taking notes and she's taking receipts. And just the way I told you she was going to come back that game against UConn, I said, "Oh, you made that young lady cry. She gonna come for you. She gonna come for you. UConn, I don't want to be you." And she came out the gate like a bull, And so I just feel like that's how it's gonna be for her next year. Smarter, stronger, faster. Not probably as physical, but her uses won't have to be as high, so she can pick and choose her spot. But yeah, but yes. Cece said they need to lock in, and London needs her role clearly defined. She absolutely does. Because when the shot is on our falling, and Lundy's, I met you, I met your family. I think you're amazing. I'm not putting you down for this, but this is something that I've been watching you do at UCLA a little bit. You kind of like, and I saw you kind of pull back on taking too many shots, but you're just going a little bit too deep in the paint, and there's nowhere to go. Malia used to do that last year, and Malia has corrected that, and she's getting through, or she's getting out, or she's getting rid of the ball. But at the same time, can I just say something about when London goes too deep or Malia goes too deep? Where are the cutters? They're looking for an angle. When you see the double, where is the person that they can quickly release it out to? She cannot. Oh yeah, you're saying that. Okay, she cannot get in the paint so deep and not spray the ball. Yeah, she has freedom now and she's going crazy. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. I remember her. She was amazing freshman year at UCLA. They hadn't seen anything like that. They had not played anybody of that stature, and so it was kind of like it threw teams off. And so, she was the new hot thing, hot shiny thing, right? So she gets with us, and we gave her a lot of freedom and things like that. You're right. I totally agree with that. But she didn't shoot us out. Like she didn't take 9 threes and make one. So I was happy about that. But yeah, just going a little bit. I think she knows. I mean, she should know. But I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it felt like there was less talking out there offensively, telling me where you like the ball, where you're gonna be. It was I don't know if they couldn't hear each other, but they weren't like on the same page. They weren't really communicating like the way I've seen them when I go see them play. Yeah, in general, there's no cutters when guards get stuck. They stand around and watch and not cut to the basket, and that is driving me crazy. CC, I don't. Um, Usually, when we notice something, you or I or others that come in my chat, they pretty much uh, the next time around correct it. And this is one thing they have to get better at. Like they have to, like if somebody's on, you gotta burst by them, and you gotta go and help the guards when they go in too deep. You gotta cut to the basket. Jazzy does it really well, but then she kind of gets stuck. You know, same thing. What up? I can't remember prototype. Luay talking with USC. Uh, Let's talk USC basketball. CC Clay. She's an analyst for USC basketball. She's not at home right now, but if she was, she'd be up here with me. And I wanted all of you guys to really kind of like pick her brain about our team because she does a whole breakdown on her channel. And you should go follow, subscribe um, to all her social media platforms. And she really does a very good job and a deep dive into the Trojans, and has a really good insight on the players and the coach and the team in general. So hopefully soon we can get together, CC, anytime. Tough loss. Surely they will learn a lot. No, it definitely, and I've had little trolls come troll me and say we're gonna lose by. Only one person was right. They told me I would lose by South Carolina by 15, but that took a while for that 15, 17 to come about. I didn't really think it would be that much, honestly. Um, I hate talking about officials, but they were calling traveling 3 seconds and moving screens, but it happened about 4, 5 more times, critical times, where they were camping in the key and traveling. Yeah, you check out that one troll account. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did, and I'm trying to figure out. I didn't ask the girls about that because I'm like, y'all, is this a real fan or is this someone pretending to be a fan? That's the thing that's throwing me off. Because if you call yourself a fan and you're setting it up that way, and then you put players down and you put coaches down, you put the game, how we're playing and what we're doing down. I don't get that. I don't see how you can be a fan and do that. Yes, you can critique and you can share your thoughts. Obviously, like if you're a real hoop head, you're going to talk about things that need to improve. But man, I don't know, CC, about that one. I mean, and another one I will tell you about 94 feet. I don't know what that's about. Like, what I'm saying? But I guess, I think about it. Like, do other people say that coach can't coach or that coach shouldn't be the coach? You know, um, and do they come off and bash as hard as they do with Coach G? I don't get it as much as where she's brought this program to itself. It's crazy. Yo, I met her when Juju was a freshman at the game in Vegas. She's a Juju Stan parasocial relationship person. She's from Detroit. Hmm, interesting. I'm going to the game, CC, in Vegas over Thanksgiving. Okay, so I'm going to see South Carolina, Texas, UCLA, and Duke for this tournament, this 2-day tournament. So I'm gonna, for the first time, I've never seen Texas play in person, and I've never seen Duke play in person. Jazzy is uber impressive on that floor. I am so glad that you can see that because I always wonder because we give her so much grace because like sometimes she be doing some freshman stuff, but if you think about it, Jew had some little funky games too. You know what I'm saying? Like there are times that a lot of people didn't probably watch those games, but you know what I'm saying. But Jazz, like she's picking it up. She's picking it up. I see her. She's a general, young but ready to shine. She doesn't shy away from the money at all. That's right. What up though? RC, I see your Hawkeyes. I see your Hawkeyes. I'm starting to think that Hannah Stuckey might make a pretty good pro, by the way, RC. I don't see why not. She moved here to get closer to Juju. When Juju gets drafted, she will probably follow wherever she goes. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay. You got to show me that one. You got to show me that one. JG, I see you in the back. Now, last time you was really muffled, so I don't know if I could bring you up here because you was really muffled and they couldn't really hear you. Like that, Cece. Look, I want Juju. I love Juju. I promote and shout Juju from the rooftop just because it was like I couldn't believe that we had a player from my that can match the or a Cheryl in a sense, like from our day. And it took me having to come because I was staying in the Bay Area, taking care of my mom. But I'm in LA. But I grew up, and all my awards and all my accolades are there in the Bay, and then I came to CSUN. And I need to see Juju for myself. And when I saw, it wasn't like a just huge spectacular game, but I could tell the way she moved and I could tell the way she played, and then I understood the history, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get behind this kid. Um, and my thing is, I always tell everybody she's gonna play for the Sparks, hook or crook. She got to play for the Sparks because you know I'm not moving to wherever she goes to play. I ain't doing that. Juju, we up over in Miami right now, 38. Yeah, you finally did. You just moved up 38 to 28. I see that. We holding it down. How you doing after yesterday? I'm cool after yesterday's game. I'm cool. I wasn't. I was a little shocked. I think ESPN had, if I'm not mistaken, Notre Dame to edge us out, right? But I never really care about what that thing says, what the predictions, because I always feel like Coach G prepares them for whoever they're playing. And I don't think I've ever seen a team score more than 20 points on them. And the only time I ever saw that, I think, was Utah. I don't know that anybody's going to blow our doors. Now we're going to play UConn and we'll see. But I don't know. I mean, I know with Juju on the court that ain't going to happen. But JG, sorry, I was going to get to you. But with Juju on the court, I didn't think it was going to happen. But with this group of talent, I don't think it was gonna. I don't think anybody can do that to us because I believe in Coach Burns and her defensive philosophy. Jazzy is getting comfortable, and by Big Ten, she'll be ready. Yes, I mean we threw her to the fire, CC. We threw her to the fire, man. I don't even think Juju as a freshman faced. No, she didn't face any type of talent. Um, top five teams like this week after week after week. So she's gonna realize everybody isn't like that. And once she gets going and gets a rhythm, she's gonna be confident. What chit chat? What happened to chit chat? What a concussion! I tell you, when you're little, man, I tell you that this game, those girls are big trees. So you like chit chat? I told you you're gonna like chit chat for your team. Juju, how do you feel about Kennedy? Is she being used differently from last year? Even last year, I wish she would have posted up more. I think she's being used differently than last year. She's being used more than differently in a positive way. I've heard some talk around town and the content creators thinking we're not using her right and this and that. They don't have any idea of obviously of what Coach G is trying to do. And that's something, Cece, I want you to really explain to the viewers and to the chat that, and he asked that real innocently because they're starting, they're really, some are doubting, like, did she fall off? I mean, I think they're looking at high school and comparing her what she did in high school and college. But if y'all remember, Puff was running around doing a lot of the offensive schemes and things and like that. And Kim Dog plays the same. She'd fill in, she'd do what she does. She wasn't like the first option to me. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Kennedy, but maybe you can explain that a little bit better for me, Cece. My son sent me a text after the game saying, "I know you're mad, Mom, but remember God is watching." Yeah, Cece, who's Chit Chat? Chit Chat? Oh, Chit Chat plays for Iowa, but she came over from, I think she used to play with. Correct me if I'm wrong. I knew it back then. Didn't she play with Kara? I don't think she played on Vanderbilt. I think it was she played with Kara Dunn at Georgia Tech, and she's a little tiny guard with a big heart, fast and quick. Jazzy about that life. I even see her directing her teammates. I saw that too. And that's what she needs to do to various spots on the floor. Yes, as a freshman, love her to life. And that really, really warmed my heart. I saw that too. I saw that too. I saw that too. I remember she was like, she told them where to go. Like, yes, because they're still learning. Gerda might be a little language barrier, but like I could see them trying to figure it out when different combinations come in. And she had to tell them where to go. She penetrated, and I think, and not so that she could go, but so she can dish it out for the shot. You're right. Yes, and that's what you need from a freshman. Avery was a lot like that. Avery did a lot of. She was a natural leader like that. But I think sometimes she was a little bit overbearing. But I even see Juju talking a lot more. I think she's going to talk a lot more as well. Kennedy is a silent leader of this team. Okay, Kennedy is asked to run the offense, create her own offense. That's a Juju thing. Guard the other team's best player. Juju did not do. It's a lot, and she expends a lot of energy. Absolutely. I was telling them, CC, that I was a shooting guard in college that would guard the best player or the point guard. And, doing that from one end of the court to another, and then, having to do my legs, and then me being a natural off guard rebounder that I was, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I think what they're saying is you know what? No, we didn't. Cece could correct me. I don't remember her posting up. Whenever they would go in zone, she would do the same thing Ju would do, which was to come to the free throw line. I didn't see that last night. It was the free throw line. We would use the free throw line to break the press. Um, I didn't see anybody going to the free throw line. I saw them trying to post, take an angle and post, but and then Jazzy has to work on not forcing the ball in. I know Kennedy can jump and all that, but yeah, Kennedy's posting down low, and I don't remember her doing that last year. I'm not saying I don't that I dislike it. I don't mind it if it's the right matchup down there. But and then she got this cold turnaround fadeaway one legged jumper. Anything between 15 and 13 feet, she can knock that down. But what is really interesting, and I think it has a lot to do with players playing themselves into shape, is a lot of balls are short. Okay, CC, come back anytime, please. Maybe we can get together and you can roll with it, and especially when we got a group together and you can give your perspective. Thanks for the perspective on Kennedy. Louis, right? Prototype. It said, thank you for the perspective on Kennedy. I knew some things were different, just wasn't sure exactly what. Yeah, for sure. That's what it is. Imagine, and it looks different with Kennedy. She does a lot of things that Juju did, but Juju never guarded the best player unless it was a switch. Or she never, like, one-on-one took a Hannah, like, or she doesn't guard, like, whoever, Kiki Rice or something like that. She doesn't guard the point guard. That's all I'm saying. And if she did, that would even be more impressive than already what she does on defense. Help side, defend, and just being aggressive on defense. But her usage rate of 30 something percent is a lot. She needs to be more aggressive in the paint. I need her to shoot more. And everybody says that, and she is shooting more. And did you see the game yesterday? She's good on defense. I need more spinning to the basket, more aggressive posting up on her opponents to the paint. Yes. Oh, Jonathan, that was you. Okay, JG. Yeah, well, Jonathan, that's a good take, but watch the game because she did everything you asked her to do. Sometimes it was short. Sometimes it was a lot was going in. A lot. One thing before I go. Okay, great. I go, Kennedy is a perfection. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. So She is perfect. It messes with her mental. Yes, that's what it is. Because where obvious, because sometimes I think like she gets real down, or she get down on herself, and she's like doing better than she did as a freshman. Um, but it's like, Ken, that was just a basketball play. You did a great basketball play. It didn't fall, or this didn't happen. But you know what I mean. Nobody's perfect, but you're in it. You're like, we see you. You know what I'm saying? But one thing she did say in the post conference, and I agree with, she said, I need to work on my game or my shot after practice, like put in hours after. And when she starts doing that, also, I want to say something about her jump shot. Sometimes she's taking a set shot, I get it. But she does better when she has a little bounce and then shot, bounce and then shot. Um, because she can shoot. She can shoot from anywhere, like any range. But she needs a little jump to it, a little bounce to it. That's what I would say. That's what I would tell her. Like get up off your, go straight up, but just bounce off the floor. And I also would tell the post players, sometimes when you catch it, you can't just go lay it in. You can't just go 1-2 to the basket. Sometimes it's a power dribble and a power up to the basket. Shoulder and head fakes. The post got to get that, like boom, boom. Get something. I used to do this thing where I would just bounce, like bounce, and then make the defense go up. And as soon as they go, then I would go up into them. Like you got to get them. You got to get them. Sometimes they come at you and then they stop, but you're still dribbling because they think you stop, and then you bust and then you go. Jazzy does it a lot. She'll jump hop, wait for to see what they're gonna do, and then burst. Like little things like that. But the post, you gotta power dribble. You power dribble and you keep doing that. And then Jazzy, you need to like step in, jab them off you, jab them off you. You gotta clear space. You gotta use your pivot. Hold the ball a little bit tighter. For them people like Hannah that just want to smack your hand in the ball. You feel me? So it's little things that um, hopefully they'll talk about it, um, work on it, see it. That's what film is for. Like really, really be in there, like looking at film. Somebody break film down, and just here's some, on their own tablet. You send them, this is what I need you to focus on, and cut it for them to see themselves, and do that for each player. Because right now with this team, in my opinion, um, every player is important. Every player is important on the floor. Everybody needs to be a threat on the floor. Don't be so quick to catch and already be ready to pass it. Look at the basket. Be a threat, USC. Be a threat. All of you, Deanna, I can see you can shoot. Kara, we know you can shoot. Jazzy, we know. Kennedy, we know. Malia, I told Malia at the game, I was like, you need to look at the basket. Because sometimes you're overpassing when you're open and it's throwing everybody. You got to shoot, you know? Look, Biv, go back up, but power it up. You're so athletic. Everybody got to look to be a threat. Look, everybody. It's going to be a collective thing with them. Joe, I'm mad at Hidalgo. I think Kennedy defending the mess out of her just got to tip her cap. Man, I am too. And in the way she was like celebrating, I was irritated. See that all that rah rah stuff, that just irritates me. But go on, they're kids. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. You saw the game? I didn't see a lot of against Notre. Yeah, watch the Notre Dame game, Jonathan. I would like to hear your opinion when I come back up, because I think what you were saying the other day and today about Ken Dog, she started to do in the game. So that was a good take that you were giving me. Like Ken Dog was, because people like they're blaming the coach. We're asking her. We have a read, and this is what I want CC to explain. We have a read and react offense, and this year we do a lot of that, but we also call plays because it is a pro style offense, and it takes a very high IQ to do it. So I just think that, and it gives players a lot of freedom, but you can't over dribble in our offense. That's the one thing I love about Coach G's offense. and I've watched it for 2 years. I love the fact that our players take 1-2 or 1001, 1002, or 1-2 dribble. I say 1001, 1002, two and a half. If either you're going to the basket, you're shooting, or you get rid of the ball. What London does is something from UCLA. We don't do all that dribbling. Okay, we don't hold the ball that long. Is it Vivian that was going off last year matching up against the bigs? No, I don't know about Viv. I think Viv is playing way better than she played last year. She had Kiki and Ray in front of her, but she's like she had a kind of not so good game. The first game was cool, and somewhere like I think the second game, not second game, what was it? One of those games in there, I was like, But she came back out, and she didn't start after that. And then she came back out with South Carolina, and she wasn't playing. Laura needs to take a dribble. Laura Williams needs to take a dribble. You can't just not high school, sweetheart. You cannot leap over everybody, and plus you're leaping into them, not up. Um, and when you shoot, you need to bring your elbow in. Like, figure it out. Are you finger rolling? Are you going with two hands? How are you coming at that basket? And make sure that if Laura would stop pump fake and let people fly by, she would make a whole lot. But when they stick it, when Viv and Laura get a rebound and stick it back up, I am overjoyed. I am overjoyed with them. I promise you. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so strong, they're so big. And if they had their arms out like this and got people off of them, oh my gosh. When I seen them play against Portland, and Portland was a very tall team. It seemed like everybody was 6 feet and above. They were big and tall. We was playing some good basketball. So Tuesday we have a game on the 25th. I'll be there, and on the 28th I'll be there. In between, during the Thanksgiving holidays, I will be in Las Vegas, and I'll be catching the Player Era. What is it? Players Era Tournament Championship. And again, that has Texas, UCLA, Duke, and South Carolina. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And everyone Duke is in the top four, right? So somebody's gonna take that. Somebody's gonna take the top. Oh, well, UConn is at the top. Excuse me. Sorry, UConn is number one. There was a young big last year backing up Kiki and Marshall. That was Viv. Who played some solid defense against other team bigs. Who was? I think that was Viv. That was Viv. You're right. That was Viv. Because Laura was out with the knee injury. Yakia was played for Auburn, so it wasn't her. Oh, you talking about Clarice? Are you talking about my girl Clarice, 6'6" Clarice that was guarding? That would come in and shut bets down every time we need her. You talking about Clarice? Because remember we used to cheer for Clarice. Remember? I miss Clarice, man. I miss that big body, man. Man, she would take care of bets. Did you see Michigan UConn? That was very nice. Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. Yes. Like, how did you feel about that? How did you feel about them giving up the 20-point lead? Do you think that? Yeah. What did you think about that? Duke is going. I don't know. I was talking about that earlier. Like, yeah, it was Clarice. Yeah. Oh, I love Clarice. 6'6", man. Yeah, it was Clarice. Yep. Yeah. Remember, we used to go off because I was like, when we played UCLA, I used to be like, hold up, Ray can't handle her. Ray can't handle Laura. Come on, Clarice. Come on. That was my girl, man. That was my girl for 2 years. For 2 years, I loved the way she would get out. Oh, just imagine if she wasn't wanted to be a doctor, if she just focused on basketball. She got the body to build. Like, they could use that in the pros. I got an alert on my phone that says ESPN is projecting that Seattle to draft Olivia Miles, the point guard, who's averaging 17. What did I say? 17.6. 17.6 points, six something rebounds. Yeah, I think Olivia's gonna stay high. You guys, people, I don't know. Are they? You seem to have a love-hate relationship with Olivia? I don't. I think Olivia is built for the W. I think she's gonna be one of the top guards. I think that AZ reminds me of a Kayla McBride. Yeah, a older like Kayla McBride. You know, now not younger because Kayla had more of a could shoot off the dribble, could create and things like that. Whereas AZ tries, but she hasn't mastered that yet. Off the dribble drive, um, penetrate, pull up, and be as consistent as she is with the three. I think she's a knockdown shooter, like somebody that Seattle could use. Um, the Lynx could bring her up behind McBride to take her spot, but we'll see. Because they say the Lynx may have control or a possibility of being able to get a lottery pick, the number one lottery pick, draft pick. Oh, so we do that tomorrow, right? Yeah, we do that tomorrow, the 23rd, right? That's when we find out what the order is of the draft. That's the lottery pick day. That's tomorrow, the 23rd. We gotta watch that. We gotta watch that, y'all. Y'all come back, all right? We gotta check that out. Score is 53-41. Are you worried, RC? Are you worried? 19th ranked Iowa. We might go. I don't know what they're gonna do to us on Monday, USC Trojans. I don't know if they're gonna drop us below Iowa or what. So apparently, I guess if Iowa beats me one more time, I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna be honest. The only competition I want the Trojans to have in the Big Ten is UCLA, Michigan, and Maryland. I don't want anybody else to be a threat. That's it. Yeah, Michigan is a tough nosed team. They were doing some good things early, but hit shots, and they were being bullied early on. Michigan became more physical and started hitting shots, and it was a ball game. Yeah, yeah, exactly. We had to play them twice last year. Yeah, I know. The day that I started paying attention to Silent Swords in Michigan was the day that they opened up with South Carolina and nearly upset them in the first game. It was wild. I could not understand it. I was like, "What is this little girl doing?" Like, and what is? And then I was like, "Oh, she's an Olympian." Okay, but I was like, "Who are they? And why are they so close to Michigan South Carolina right now?" I don't care if it is the first game. Who are these girls? That's what that. And so ever since then, I've been like Michigan fan. But I was doggone it. I was like Juju, Kiki, Rhea, Ken Dog, Malia, TiVo. You bet not lose to them. What about Juju? What do you think about? What about you, Juju? What did you think about UConn? Did they just have an off game, or did Michigan expose something? I think they exposed something, and like I said, I think earlier I was telling you that I think Sarah. Why wasn't Sarah in the game at the end? And then I felt like KK and Shade. Well, KK especially Shade is always going to shoot. Why were you taking those shots? You know, I already my opinion. Here's my opinion. The big three is AZ, Sarah, and Sarah. I am not convinced about the guards. I love KK and everything. Shade is sometimey. I've never been convinced about this year about their guard play. I think that's where they needed to improve. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of it at all. And so, is Sarah gonna? Are you ever gonna give Sarah a breather? Or what happens? In the tournament for Sarah, because I don't even count their their conference play. It's like so not challenging. And so yeah, I just feel like yeah, things were exposed, things that he's gonna have to clean up. They're gonna have to figure out. Um, I don't really have any specific. I don't. I, I think they could lose a game, and depending on who they play. I think Hannah's gonna tear their guards up, but and just create chaos. That's what I feel like they did against us. It was just chaos. It was just chaotic, and it had us. We hung. We like to get up and down. They like to get up and down, and Hannah single-handedly beat them last year. So what's the difference this year? You don't have Paige. You do have Sarah. Can Notre Dame pull this off? Will they pull this off? If they do, I would be like, how did you get stomped by Michigan, but then you turn around and you're the one to knock UConn off? Is that even possible? Because I don't even think they should have beat us. I like London Jones. I think London Jones is fine. I think London yesterday she got herself in trouble. She got in too deep. I think she forced some shots a little bit, but she pulled back. Um, I think we just CC said it best from USC. Let's talk USC basketball. We have to define her role. If we define her role a little bit and not give her the, I know our offense is about freedom and everything, but we can't do that with her because of her height. It doesn't match up with the height of everyone else. So I want her to have a defined thing of what, like she did in the beginning when I saw her going off. And I was so happy to have her. Thank God. In the beginning, when we played New Mexico State, she looked like she had a defined role, knew what it was, and stayed in that capacity. She'll be amazing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody should have a role. Everybody should so that everyone knows what's going to happen. Okay, this is when so and so takes over. Okay, this is where so and so like the ball at this part of the game. At this part of the if we go sprinting down the court, I know Jazzy likes to flare this way. I don't want to go running in her spot. That's the kind of things that it's going to be a lot of figuring out and talking, because they're like, do I come in the paint? Like Laura, like Viv, I think it was it South Carolina? We were at Crypto. Deanna Mendez, she got it on the wing and she had a clear lane, and then Viv came like, give me the ball. And I was like, no, no, move. She's gonna take that. Like, pop up, get out of the way, take your man out of the way. Things like that. They need to understand. Like, Deanna can play, and she's gonna be a secret weapon for us. KK is very unremarkable for me. I agree on that big three. That's it. CC. That's why she was good off the bench, but she has to start this year because you're not starting Echo. CC as in. I said something about CC Clay. She is an analyst for Let's Talk USC basketball, women's basketball. She was just in here in the chat. You need to subscribe to her channel. She does a lot of breakdown. I'll probably have her come up here. It's called Let's Talk USC WBB on YouTube. After I shut it down right now, go check her out. Check out some of her videos. Check out some of her, like she may do a analytical breakdown, or she um, may do um, recaps or breakdowns on the game. She's gonna give her thoughts and her opinion. Ooh, okay, takes deep breath. And some people really like analytics, like when you can see, like you can match what you're thinking and what we see with our eyes. I like to do it because I can, in my brain, think like, okay, yeah, this was in a red, this was in a green, and then I compare it to what she says, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I saw too. And most of us see like, oh yeah, they didn't shoot good threes today, they didn't shoot good free throws today. They, you know, or here's what they did very, very, very well. You know, just like some people do analytics on win shares. When this group is in the game, the score the score went down. Like, or when so and 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 so is in the game, win shares go up. Like, or if Juju leaves the game, this was what happens to our defense, or this is what happens to our offense. You know, you can tell by analytics what's who's a true shooter, who's a pure shooter, all that kind of stuff. Like some people are like, what's the plus minus? What's the plus minus on that player? And she'll explain all that kind of stuff like that to you, if you like that, if you like that type of discussion, you know. Um, yeah. So, um, and then she'll direct you to her uh, I think it's called Substat, and then she'll do a little story or tell you, give you a little bit more insight on the team and the players and where we're going in the direction of things that are going on. But I think non-conference. You're trying different things. You're trying different combinations. They're not always going to look the same because of the matchup and how we match up. I think what made us so good last year against teams that UConn blew out or UCLA blew out, it was like we matched up better against UConn. We matched up better than most teams against UCLA. How come UCLA could beat so many teams, but including LSU, for instance? Like, how come UCLA could beat them, but when we play them, we go. One is it's a revenge game. I mean, excuse me, a rival game. It's a rival game. Okay, that has a heightened experience. I get it, but overall, for real, what like it's the way that we matched up against them. And Jewel is an anomaly. She does. There's really no that one person that can guard her. Let's say that there's just not one person that got. And when she learned the gravity of and how everything is pulled towards her, which means now there's two or three people open. How do I get that pass? Do I make the direct pass or do I make a pass to make a hockey assist pass? Like, how does that look? And and how do I get the ball when they're surrounding me, when they're blitzing me? How do I get the ball to them? And when she learned how to pass out of that, it just teams are like, okay, now what do we do? It was like, okay, she figured that out. Now what? You know, so and that's what I hope to um, see from her from this year, having to sit the bench. What can she learn from watching a game from that angle? 'Cause she never had a chance to do that. She didn't have a vet in front of her. She jumped right on. It's a difference from sitting the bench and watching the game and being in the game. Because sometimes I started in college. This is my first time. I started varsity from ninth grade. But when I got in college, I had seniors above me. But I played starter minutes, like 6 man, right? But um, then we got this one coach who was really great too. That um, he came to coach with our coaches, and he was a men's coach for Cal State LA. Great coach, and he taught us so many sets, so many looks, so many defensive schemes. They called me the zone buster, but I can drive. But there was another girl on my team that she was on my track team as well, on my relay, and she was a driver, but she couldn't shoot. So it was kind of like, why didn't they play us at the same time? I don't know. But depending on what the defense was doing, um, it depended on like how we would come in and switch for each other. And so I understood this was my role. I understood, like, if we were down, this is what I needed. You need what did you need? You need a board? You need me to need to defend the point guard? Oh no, we need you to shoot tonight. Okay, so this is I knew that would be my role to break the zone. and force them to go man to man. And when they went man to man, okay, this is what we're gonna how we're gonna use you. So everybody kind of talked about it. We knew it, and it all depended on who we were playing, and you're content with that. But Cece said something tonight that was really insightful for my girl Kid Dog. She said Kid Dog's and I love how she said it. It was a strength based word. She said she's a perfectionist, and when you're a perfectionist, you take things. You want to do it exactly uh, the right way. You want it, and nobody is going to do it perfect. And when it's not done perfect, it takes you out of your game a little bit, and you get in your head a lot. And right now, we can't afford for her to get in her head at all. Like I need her on the floor when it's time for to take a break and to come back in and to be the leader and to be focused and to be she's silent, but when she is talking, she's really great. Like they need that from her, but they feed off of her. They know they know her personality. Um, but when people feed off of you and they see you put your head down like this, or you get down, then they start to feel, they get down. But I see them kind of supporting her, picking her up, loving on her, pouring into her, like, you good, you good, you're good. But you're gonna have those moments where, it's time for you to be the hero, and you might miss the shot, but you gotta be on to the next, on to the next. Okay, just on to the next. So one of the things I had in college, our we had a sports psychologist, and that taught us visualization, and also we met with the sports psychologist, uh, and I'm all for that because sports is 80% mental. Some say 90, I say 80, and I think that would be a good thing for a young player like that may you know, get thrown off and get in their head too much. I think having a sports psychologist is until you have one, until you actually work with one, you really won't know what I'm talking about. But it helps with players like that mentally get taken out of their game easily, and they teach you skills to bring you out to cause you not to sink into that hole. Because some people can sink right in that hole right in the middle of the game and get taken right out. And then it becomes like a cancer to others. So we can't afford that with her. So, yeah. So, like, I look forward to a lot of people, they, and having Cece Clay from Let's Talk USC, I would have never known that. I knew it was something. And other people's like, oh, she's not happy. Oh, she wants to transfer. No, no, it has nothing to do with that. You don't even know this child. And um, you know, and she has a vlog, and she talked about it, and she called it Kinzen Time, and she may or may not have been talking about her, but she said sometimes athletes go through things that you may never know what that is, and so we're trying to figure out because we look at body language and we look at you watch a player long enough, you kind of think you know them, and you may know some parts of them. But like she said, you don't know everything about about me or about other players. You don't know what we're going through, and so everything don't have to be like, oh, I'm unhappy, I'm going to transfer. It could be that they're they're thinking too hard, they're overanalyzing, or for her, she's a perfectionist, so she might be a self-proclaimed perfectionist. So when you see that going on with Ken Dog, that's all it is. That's all it is. And the more she plays, and she's going to go pro, and the more she plays, the more mature she gets, she'll work through that as long as she can recognize that. So I ain't worried about Ken Dog. She's great. She's fine. Jazzy's great. London will be fine. Malia, all of them. Coach G, the whole team will be fine. Um, just keep watching. Keep tuning in. Keep tuning in right here to Everybody Loves Juju 1-2 Talk Hoops. I'll be back with another banger. Hit that subscribe button, share with a friend, hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next stream. Have a good evening. Peace. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of the show. Talk to you later.